Hi friends! If you want to check out swatching, demo, and review of 2 shades from the SURRATT Beauty Dewdrop Foundation, then please keep on watching. Hi, my name is Alicia. If it's your first time here, thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I'm a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeups, you can head over to my Instagram. I attempted to film this video once and my camera went bonkers. I'm happy that it did because now that I have both shades on hand to show you swatches of the new SURRATT Beauty, well, new to me, this product is not new. It has been out for quite some time. 2 shades for the Dewdrop because at this time, not shopping in real life, not being able to swatch foundations in real life, it could be quite challenging to figure out your shade from online photographs, whether it be from the product page of the brand, or you have a blog photo, or you have a YouTube video to watch. I ordered 2 shades because this is what happened, and timestamps will be down below for any of the portion of the video you wish to see. I asked my girl Kelsey Brianna J, hey, do you have the Dewdrop foundation? So maybe I could figure out what my shade is from what the shade you have. She showed me a few swatches of samples she has for the foundation, and it looked like that I would be 11. But then I looked at the swatch photos, and on this arm you can see that 7 looks significantly darker than 11. And then I looked at number 9 and I was switching between number 7 and number 9, and on the first order I placed, yes, I placed several from Neiman Marcus, I know. I bought the Dewdrop and then I bought the concealer palette that I was very intrigued with and the complexion brush. So those items are still on the way. I'll do a video with just the concealer and then of course feature the foundation, but I was juggling between 7 and 9 and I was like, which one is it? Which one is it? Because 11, was it 11 or 10? Looked very yellow. And I was looking at the shade descriptions. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what medium tan to them, golden to them. So I emailed SURRATT Beauty. I was like, hey, if I am 7 Tawny in the Traceless Tom Ford foundation stick, what would I be in your foundation shade? And they suggested 9. However, I had already placed my order for shade 7. So I kind of panicked and put in an order for 9. 9 came before 7. And when I tried this foundation on, I was like, oh, this is a really good match. But the plot thickens, friends, because you would think just from the label, the shade label, that 7 looks lighter than 9. It is not. Before we roll into the swatches, and again, timestamps, I am on the SURRATT Beauty product page. Shout out to them for helping me figure out my shade match. The Dewdrop foundation retails for $75. 25% off was happening at Neiman Marcus. I managed to grab these for like 56 something. Still expensive, but hurt less than 75. A light to medium coverage foundation with a dewy, hydrating finish that's ideal for everyday wear. I gotta say, dewy might sound really scary to some. This version of their dewy, I like. Is very reasonable. Natural, seamless, and lightweight. This light to medium coverage foundation has a dewy, hydrating finish that's ideal for everyday wear. Its unique delivery system ensures your complexion receives the optimal amount of coverage each time you apply. Now, this is primarily made of silicones, which I like. I'm not scared of silicones. I think they are cosmetically elegant. And remember, not just seeing the ingredients on the list will determine how these ingredients are actually formulated. The formulation and how the process goes with these said products is sometimes, well, I think what determines the price, because dimethicone and all these other silicones not necessarily are expensive themselves, but again, the process and the formulation will determine the cosmetic elegance for said product. You only use 1 to 2 drops, and before we go any further, this is a light to medium foundation. Do not expect anything like the Shiseido or even the Pat McGrath or a more coverage foundation, I don't know, maybe the Anastasia Luminous. You're not going to get it from this, friends. This is for those who are not crazy about foundation, but maybe they want something a little more than a tinted moisturizer that's going to even out the canvas but still allow your skin to show through. That is exactly what it does. Because it is so thin and lightweight, I'm not even gonna bother using a brush. You wanna see me use a brush, I'll see you use the brush for the sake of the demo. I use my fingers because that's where you're gonna get maximum coverage for this lightweight foundation. Again, with the shades, I picked up number 9, which is Golden Tan, and then I picked up 7, Deep Medium Pink. So I'm like, ooh, which one is that? And again, when you look at this arm, it is nuts. Like, 11 could have been a good match for me, but juggling between 7 and 9, I don't know. Let's just see it. Here is the actual foundation bottle. You're not getting a full ounce of product, fam. We only have 0.64 ounces or 19 milliliters of product. This is made in Japan, and you have a screw top with the dispensed tip with a push button on the bottom of the bottle. Packaging itself is exquisite. I mean, you have SURRATT here. It's hard to see, but it's in the thin matte font, and you have like this beautiful duochrome from turquoise to magenta shift on a lot of their products. I also have their, I know I bought this too, out of control. I have their highlighting stick. So basically the highlighting stick is a smaller version of the foundation bottle. Love the packaging on all these products. Let's get to the swatching. Yes, I will swatch number 9 first, so you can get a kick out of this. And just so you can see the texture, it is very lightweight. I wouldn't say it's liquidy because even with that dot, it's not dripping quickly, so you have a little bit of time to play with it. So this is number 9, okay? And this is number 7. You could already see, fam. This is number 7. Look at the difference. Now, I'm gonna let number 9 chill out because when it dries down, you can see more of its pink undertone despite the golden shade description. But look how deeper 7 is. I gotta say though, the swatch photos pretty much align with what we're seeing here. You can see that the number 9 swatch looks significantly lighter than the number 7 swatch. And let's quickly compare. I got my Tom Ford Sable stick here in 6.5. So that is what that color looks like. It matches up more to number 9 than 7 does. And this is 7 Tawny. Perhaps like a mix between the two. I have my Shiseido liquid in Citrine 360. I would say, let's see here. This is still significantly warmer than the Shiseido, and the Shiseido is a lot more neutral. The Hourglass, this is way too warm for me. At the time, I was more tan. I would say my actual Vanish liquid shade, oh, that was terrible, is golden, but dare I say that matches up more to 7 than anything. And of course, Mama Pat's medium 16 in her Skin Fetish. I am running out of elbows. So that's a little more yellow than the 9 for sure. That's why I love the Tom Ford sticks, because these are my closest shade matches right here, and I wear them interchangeably. But what we'll do is now is put 9 on one side, 7 on the other, and see what we think. Happy that it's cloudy because we could now get a truer representation of the shade match. And with that said, why don't you come in a little closer? That's enough. I'm happy that we got the blemishes because you know what? If we're interested to see how this foundation covers, then we can for sure see at least how it blurs. I'm gonna go in number 7 first because I'm actually quite curious to see. It said 1 to 2 drops. I'm gonna do 3. I actually really like the dispensing system because I think it makes it so easy to apply the product. And I'm doing this without a mirror. So helpful. And again, you can use a brush or a sponge. I would not dare use a sponge, fam. It will soak up the product too much. But you see, it spreads beautifully. So even with the 2 drops, I probably could have stuck to 2. It spreads across the skin pretty nicely. So you see it added significant warmth, but it works out. It works out. It doesn't look too far-fetched from my neck. And even though my blemishes still show through, If anything, I could take number 7 again, but this time on the back of my hand, I'll just take 1 drop and use a smaller brush. This is my Pat McGrath medium-sized brush from her Sublime Duo set. And this time I'm going in with the brush because since it's smaller and denser packed and I'm dealing with smaller areas of my face and not bigger, I feel more comfortable using a brush, but you could always go in with your fingers as well. This foundation absorbs quickly, but you still have some play time. The consistency is thin, but is fluid and lightweight. And I don't feel like it's silicone-y in nature despite the ingredients. I think this is really an elegant formula in terms of how it looks so skin-like, but it provides that lightweight coverage. I am such a fan of the fact that I don't really have to apply concealer. In fact, this foundation allows me to get away with just leaving my under eyes as they are, and it doesn't look like it's separate from the rest of my face because the foundation formula itself just melts into the skin. And yes, you can still see my blemishes. If I was really upset about it, I would go in with concealer just to cover up those portions. They're scabbing off, so I'm not really worried about it. Like by Saturday or even Sunday, they'll look a little lighter. But even that, I think it just blurs the imperfections, still looks like skin, and does not look heavy at all. A fan. Now with this number 9. Number 9, I'm gonna throw you for a loop-de-doo. I think they call this golden. Interesting. Right down the middle. So here is number 9, which I think is actually my shade. As hard it is to admit that, because with all the tan that has left my complexion, this is like my actual shade. And then we have number 7, which is a little more warm. I think interesting that they call this deep medium pink. If anything, I'm happy it has some pink in it, so it doesn't make me look too orange or too yellow, despite its overall warmth in the shade. And again, if I wanted a little more, ideally, I would have used the concealer palette to take care of these concentrated blemishes, but I'm taking a little more from the back of my hand, patting that around where I need more coverage, not using a whole lot, because again, the whole point of this foundation is to create that blurring effect, that light coverage effect. It's not going to cover intense discolorations and blemishes, fam. So if you're not into that type of foundation, then this is definitely not for you, and especially at this price point. No sense in spending $75 when you will be sorely disappointed. So if you happen to have the Tom Ford Traceless in 6.5 Sable or even Tawny, I think 9 would be your shade match. Let me cut down the exposure even more, because this is like my actual true complexion shade, whereas 7 is giving me a little more warmth, but I like it. Ideally, I would mix both together. And with that said, let me take this off, use it with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, because I think this will add not necessarily coverage, but extra blurring, so that we could get best of both worlds and have even more of like a filtered effect with these products. So stay tuned and I'll be right back. Took it off, re-moisturized, and now I want to go in with the Shaw Hollywood Flawless Filter in 510. I could mix this with the SURRATT, or I could apply this alone. Excuse me for just constantly adjusting my exposure. I will put this on forehead, under like high points of the cheekbones, and my chin. And for this, I could actually use a brush. I don't mind using a brush with this application. So going in with my Chikuhodo GSN 02 brush. The reason why I'm experimenting with applying the Flawless Filter first is to see if it will add, not again coverage, but just extra filtering, especially around my blemishes here, that they were self-inflicted. If I left them alone, they would have been fine. But of course, I always like to investigate. Let's mix 7 and 9. I really like the dispensing system. It just controls how much you apply. I'm doing, well, we did 2 drops of the 7. Let's do like 1.5 of the 9. We'll swirl that all together and start putting it around the face. Now again, you have a lot of playing room so that you don't have to worry about blending this right away. So it has some, like I said, it's dewy, but it's not greasy looking. I will use my Tom Ford cream brush. It is synthetic, but I feel it's not going to absorb as much product than, let's say, my Chikuhodo would, because those are natural bristles, and I definitely don't want to take away the little coverage that I have to work with in the first place. And whatever leftover I have on the back of my hand, I just punch on those portions of my face that need more coverage. And I have to say, even without applying concealer, I really love how this looks. Excuse me while I just play with the exposure. It doesn't seem, or the foundation itself doesn't call for concealer. It's so lightweight in texture, but it just kind of blends beautifully into the skin. If I wanted to, I mean, I have a lot of options to go in with. I would go in with something a little lighter in texture, like let's say my Shiseido. Pat is high coverage and a little thicker than this foundation, and I feel it will warrant more coverage from the foundation, right? So I'm gonna go in with my Synchro stick, the gel stick. This is in 302, like just a little bit. Just a tiny bit. And I'm using my fingers to blend that out. I think that's really nice. Definitely Shiseido and SURRATT for me are in the same wheelhouse of coverage. Shiseido is also a Japanese brand, and I feel the two textures just work beautifully together. I know I have a Hollywood Flawless filter, but I just want you to see how lightweight the coverage is, but I still appreciate that filtered effect. I'm fine with these not being completely covered because you know what? This is real life. This is what I'm going through blemish-wise and skin-wise. So you're gonna see them, but I still feel the skin looks really smooth. And again, the foundation just melted beautifully on there. Now, if we want to talk skin type, I would say that this foundation is suitable for from normal combination, normal to dry even. Oily, I would powder. You could powder before or you could powder after, because again, it does leave behind that dewiness, but it doesn't look greasy or doesn't feel heavy on the skin. I will definitely have to revisit this during the summertime, right? Where the climate will be different, the humidity will be higher, temperatures will be higher, and perhaps it'll be a great time to reevaluate my feelings about this foundation if the environment will be different. Right now in the high 40s, low 50s, this is pretty ideal, especially if humidity levels are neutral as well. Now to mix my two Fenty Cream bronzers in Macchiato and Honey Glaze, these two right here. Taking my Scott Barnes 65 Flawless Face, and just placing that on the hollows and also around the temple. Although the Fenty is not going to add significantly more coverage, I feel in addition to what the SURRATT has to offer and what the Fenty does just by adding that bronze effect, you get a little more coverage and a little more filtering and blurring, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna place some under the jaw here, you know, to make it look sculpted. I've been mixing my cheeks out blushes like a fiend. So what shall we do? I've been really digging Drama Class and Cool Berry. I think we get such a cool color from that combination. And I've been really loving the Scott Barnes 64 to apply higher on the cheekbones. The 64 and 65, they're both synthetic brushes. And I like the fact that this brush almost serves as like a powder brush for creams. And it just makes it so easy to apply. And whatever leftover I have, I could pull it more on the apples of the cheeks. Definitely going in with a highlighter stick. Where did I put it? I couldn't help myself, I bought two. Diamante and Dior. Diamante was like the more silver, champagne-y hue. I mean, it's hard to see on camera, especially since it's so cloudy, but I love that as the extra bing, bing, bing type of a highlight. And Dior is definitely the more gold or even yellow gold hue, if you could see it there. It's not super intense, it's very lightweight. It's almost like a veil of highlight. So if you wanted to see both in action, I'm gonna take Dior. Look at that. You kidding me? Dior first on the cheekbones, and it just melts. It just melts so beautifully. I can't take it. I apply this first and then a powder highlight on top. Too much to take, fam. Look at that. Just so simple. Ugh, the effortlessness of it all. It's just too much. Now with Diamante, they also have a rose, which is more pinky in hue, but I love the Diamante for like the, please don't fall, the bing spot, like right on the center, right there. Oh, and I believe these have like diamond dust, so it's very fine in texture, but look at that impact. It looks like glass. My skin looks like glass. Look at that. Are you kidding me? Stop it. Unfortunately, I don't have any of SURRATT Beauty's powders. However, if all was said and done, I would then go in with a little bit of either the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Brush Flawless Filter or the Pat McGrath. What can we do? I want to put on something on this cheekbone. We have to do it. It was between the Tom Ford and the Scott Barnes, but I haven't used this one in a while, so I'm missing her a little bit. My Chikuhodo T6 with both, and just tapping that right on top. Just right there. It's just all you need, fam. Just on the bridge of the nose, Cupid's bow. Now I understand we're looking a little shiny, but I'm looking at my skin, haven't powdered yet. I rather love the texture it's been left in, even with the Fenty products on. I think the Fenty products also dry down pretty demi-matte, I should say. If you are oily, I would powder afterwards or apply your favorite powder bronzer, what have you, powder blush. What I'll do now is definitely going in with the Pat McGrath. I think I'm gonna go in with medium. There we go. So let's go in with medium. Of course, I don't have a powder brush to use. Be right back. Going in with my one and only Chikuhodo P8 and just whip it all around. Just get it all in there. The brush is soft enough so that it's not going to move any of the product. It's just going to lovingly place the pressed powder just so feather light on the skin, and it just buffs everything down beautifully. There we go. We're looking good. I didn't even bother to set my under eyes because it's a Shiseido, it'll be fine. If you want it, you most certainly could. I mean, I could go in with the light powder. I'm actually gonna go in with my finger and just tap it. That's how versatile Pat's powders are, fam. You don't even need a brush. It's just right there. Done. Just curling my lashes so they're not left out of the party. Going in with the Gucci Susan Nude, like on the outer corners of my lips. I love Penny Beige still. I'm just trying out Susan Nude for the long term. Interim. Mildred Rosewood in, this is not the balm. It's like a lip veil. I don't even know. Tapping on the center of my lip with my finger to give it a little more rosiness. So I think it pairs so nicely with the nude to give the lips a really beautiful pouty look. And here you have it, fam. Wide shot of all the products applied. I gotta say, I haven't been using the Dewdrop when I received number 9. I was using it for a few days before I filmed this video. So I feel like I am still in first impressions phase. I have to tell you though, when I don't have a lot of time, for instance, when I go in my lives to teach, it's nice to know I could slap this on with my fingers and it's just gonna melt into my skin, give me that finish that looks natural, that looks flawless, my skin but better, and be done. It is so easy to use, and while I understand you don't get a lot of product, you're getting under an ounce, only 0.64 ounces, However, because of how the product dispenses, I think you conserve product and you actually are not using a lot at once. And I think it will allow you to use the product a lot longer. I think it plays well with other products. It plays beautifully well with the Fenty, with the Reflects Gilt from Tom Ford, with the Pat McGrath powders, exceptionally well with the Shiseido products. I mean, I wouldn't apply a high coverage concealer because again, I will feel the need to put on a higher coverage foundation. The Shiseido gel sticks, sublime with the SURRATT. And we'll come back on here to try the SURRATT concealer palette, which I am dying to see how it looks like under the eyes, around the face for extra coverage. But yes, if you have it in your budget, if you've been eyeing this foundation, if you've been hearing the hype about it, it's true. It is exceptional. It is fragrance free and it's a luxury product. Thank God. The shades are tough though. I think that's my one critique about the product. When you're shopping for this online, figuring out your shade, whew, good luck. So hopefully this video helped in shade matching the foundation. Again, if you're the Tom Ford 6.5 Sable or even 7 Tawny, I would go with 9. If you want to go a little warmer, 7. But the pro is, because it is so lightweight, you could get away with a shade that's not quite your match because it just kind of melts with your skin and it will come together in the end so you don't look too light or too warm or just too ashy or whatever shade you're not looking to look like. So let me know if you picked up the dewdrop from any of the most recent sales, what you think about it. If you've been using it for a long time, you're like, Alicia, what have you been waiting for? If you have, you're not too sure about it, you don't like it, let me know your thoughts down below, fam. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another tutorial, review, get ready with me, foundation, shade matching video, or nightly live chit chat. Take care and I'll see you again soon.